around stuff. Today, a quick one on the big, beautiful bill and the budget deficit and cutting Medicaid and blah, blah, blah. What has never been mentioned and isn't even allowed to be voiced, apparently, is defense spending. I think the budget is going to push national defense, I don't even know what's all is in there, but to $1 trillion. We already spend more than all the other countries in the world. I don't know about all this. We spend umpteen times more than any other country, and most countries, add them all together, we spend more than they do. But we're not allowed to talk about cutting of defense spending at all. We need more submarines at $1 billion a hit. We need more aircraft carriers. We need more F-35s at whatever they cost. No one ever talks about cutting back defense spending. There have been a few times, certainly after the Vietnam War, there was some cutback. But in recent times, there was never a cutback. It's always adding on more and more and more. That's a major problem we have in the United States is defense spending. Now, I understand Pearl Harbor, the attack, which we were isolated until then, until the Japanese said, no, you're not. And the introduction of ICBMs, where at 30 minutes everything could be destroyed. Those two things and 9/11 terrorists could come in and do what they did. We're not isolated anymore, and that has resulted in massive $1 trillion a year defense spending, and that doesn't even include it all. A lot of foreign aid goes to countries who immediately turn around and use it to buy defense items from the United States. So the total amount on defense spending is even more than $1 trillion. But we're not allowed to talk about that. It would be unpatriotic to not support our American servicemen. And if we were to cut back on that, the other issue is nobody wants to talk about it. Either a House of Representatives or a senator, is the defense industry is wound into literally every state. Some have a whole lot more than others. California has a lot. Virginia has a lot. There's up north, down south. It's sprinkled literally in every state. So, I remember years ago the Army wanted to close bases. They had a base consolidation program they wanted to do. And they had small bases here, there, and yon, and they wanted to close those down and consolidate into various things. It could never pass Congress. No, you can't do that. Because I have, and my people in my district, their livelihood is dependent upon that base being here. Even closing down ICBM sites out in the middle of North Dakota or Nebraska, wherever they are, even those become an issue because they have been keeping some small town or small district alive by all of the supplies required to run such a facility. I don't know. I don't think it's a fixable problem, and that's what bothers me about it is it's unpatriotic to talk about cutting defense spending. But that's $1 trillion a year. They talk about we're going to add so many trillion to the national debt in the next 10 years or something. Literally all that is the increase in a $200 billion a year increase for 10 years is whatever it is, that's 2,000 billion, which is $2 trillion. I might not have the numbers exactly right, but you see what I'm saying. And is it guns or butter? Are we going to spend money on guns, or are we going to spend money on butter and food for starving Americans? I understand the U.S. government does have the responsibility for national defense. That's one they do really well, sort of. Other responsibilities they have, like Food and Drug Administration, the uh, uh, Interstate Commerce Commission, where they regulate trade between states and so on, and EPA, water and air pollution. That has to be a federal requirement because of one state not doing what they should and letting it blow over or run over or something over into another state. There are certainly national uh, federal government requirements that supersede, set above states. National defense is one of them, and all of its ramifications. Trump was saying that the southern border and the northern border are in fact a national defense issue. And that could be argued one way or the other. Certainly a lot of people don't think so. But there couldn't be. We have not seen any evidence of terrorism coming across those borders, or at least not yet. But anyway, the total amount spent on our security, and coming in the future, they want to do more and more and more, is ridiculously large. And the other thing I talk about just briefly is Social Security. You say, well, it's a big line item budget in the total, and we have to look about doing something about that. No. Everybody who gets Social Security and Medicare have paid into it their whole life. It is a separate tax. Probably for most people, the Medicare and Social Security withdrawal out of your check is larger than what they're taking out to eventually pay your income taxes. So no, it is really not a line item in the budget. It's a separate pool of money. Now, of course, Congress in their wisdom decided to roll it over, and all the money that came in for Social Security to be used for whatever they see fit. And then they said, okay, Social Security is now light on them. But basically, they take in more revenue than they need in any one particular year, but that just lets them spend more. But downstream, that money that was set aside for Social Security is going to run out because they've been using it for anything and everything else, including national defense. Anyway, national defense, I don't know a way around it. Every congressman, every senator, not my state, you're not cutting anything in my state. The other issue is that we're talking about a lot of research and development work being funded under national defense, and all sorts of manners, from biological, chemical to electronic. And those are all high-paying jobs, and you can't cut high-paying jobs. A lot of scientists, a lot of engineers, a lot of college graduates in one discipline or another are employed by the Defense Department. I don't know the total number, but it is a huge amount. Anyway, that's all for today. This is Uncle Ron's stuff. We're talking about the big, beautiful bill, and massive trades are going to be added to the national debt over the next 10 years. And the real culprit, the real elephant in the room is national defense. But we can't anybody talk about it. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. It's unpatriotic not to be supporting your servicemen. Having more, we're going to completely redo all of our ICBMs. We're going to have brand new ICBMs. The one we have now are 10, 15 years old. It's time to renew them. So we're going to spend, I don't know how many billions, rebuilding land-based ICBMs. And the whole point of land-based ICBMs is not even valid anymore. Submarines, they cannot be tracked. They're hidden under the ocean. ICBMs underground in Nevada and Nebraska, wherever they are, everybody knows where they are. I mean, any kind of launch that would take those out, everybody knows where they are. Satellites are everywhere. What they don't know is where the submarines are. So if we needed anything, we need more submarines. I don't think we need anything more, but there's an example. We're going to spend a whopping amount of money replacing all those old ICBM missile launchers, not the nukes, but the missile launchers. We're always having better nukes. Enough of that. national defense is a big problem with the big beautiful bill and its reductions in all sorts of human-related activities such as Medicaid, cutbacks in Medicaid or cutbacks in this or that, are all because we're going to spend $200 billion more on defense in 1 year, and every year it'll probably go up even more. Enough is enough. That's Uncle Ron's stuff today. Is the 3rd of July already. I hope this records, and that you have a great 4th of July. Remember, this is America, the land of the free, and we are secure.